Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're peeling back the layers on something that looks simple, but is actually pretty profound. The very beginning, how you start learning. And our source material, it's this guide called Foundation English Greetings and Practice. Now, just to be clear, our mission today isn't really about learning English phrases. It's more meta. We're looking at the architecture of the guide itself, how it's built.
Yeah, the structure.
Exactly. The deliberate choices, what they prioritize, the method. Basically, how a good foundational program gets a learner feeling competent and maybe more importantly, confident really fast without, drowning them in too much information right away.
And that blueprint, that structure,
Mm.
is incredibly useful for you listening right now. Because, well, no matter what you're trying to learn,
Mm-hmm.
it could be anything, investing, coding, a new language,
Yeah.
that initial flood of information, it could be totally paralyzing.
Absolutely. The fire hose effect.
Exactly. So by dissecting this guide, we sort of get a map. We see what core stuff gets prioritized first, why it's chosen, and, maybe critically, how you can focus your own learning energy to get those quick wins early on.
Okay, so let's dive in. The guide itself is remarkably efficient. I mean, it wastes zero time on background or theory.
None at all.
It was jump straight into the most common, high-utility social bits. It seems to recognize that if you can't even handle the hello, you're not getting much further, are you?
Right. You can't play the game if you can't get through the door.
So let's look at the exact phrases they flag as the essential starter pack. They really hammer home repetition for just 4 specific scripts. You've got, hello, how are you? Then, I'm fine, thank you, and you. Pretty standard.
Mhm.
Then, good morning, and good night. That's basically it for the first hit.
And what's real telling is the reason they give. The guide explicitly says these phrases help you sound natural when meeting people.
Ah, okay. Sound natural, not just communicate information.
Exactly. The priority isn't complex, meaning it's achieving social competence. Right off the bat. These are like the bare minimum phrases you need just to participate in the ritual of meeting someone.
A ritual, yeah.
Think about it, right? These aren't just words on a list. They need to become automatic scripts. Social lubrication, basically. If you, mess up the main topic later, okay, maybe that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you stumble over just saying hello,
It's awkward immediately.
right, it throws everything off. So mastering that ritual first builds that immediate low-stakes comfort. And that comfort is the rock, the foundation for everything else you're going to learn.
That distinction is really key, isn't it? Moving from just knowing words to performing a social ritual. It shows the guide is focused on cutting down social anxiety, which, let's face it, is often the biggest wall for beginners in almost anything.
Oh, absolutely. If you can confidently greet the senior person or the client or whoever, your brain is just clearer for the actual hard stuff that comes next.
So you automate the easy, predictable bits.
Precisely. To free up your mind for the unpredictable stuff.
Okay, so here's where, for me, it gets really interesting. After those single greetings, the guide immediately jumps to a full, simple dialogue, like a functional conversation. This is the blueprint for that very first interaction.
The whole exchange.
Yeah, let me just read it out. It's super simple. Person A, hi, what's your name? Person B, my name is Sarah, what's your name? A, I'm Alai, nice to meet you. And B closes with, nice to meet you too.
Okay, so this little dialogue, it's like a perfect miniature model of how foundational learning works. It's not just about giving information like your name, it teaches reciprocity.
Ah, the back and forth.
Yes. Person B doesn't just answer, they immediately loop the question back, what's your name? That give and take, that and you, or what's your name? It's so fundamental to sounding natural, but often gets missed.
Right. It stops it from being just a quiz where you give the answer. It makes it an actual exchange. But look at the specific phrase they choose to highlight right after this example. Nice to meet you. The guide points out specifically that this is very polite and common in English.
And that focus on politeness. That tells you something really important about what counts as foundational. Why push politeness and cultural norms before, say, complex grammar?
Yeah, why that?
Because, foundational learning isn't just about stringing words together correctly. It's about using them appropriately. By teaching nice to meet you, the polite standard closing, it helps the learner end the interaction successfully, positively.
Ah, okay. So it makes the interaction feel good, basically.
Exactly. Politeness here is like a confidence multiplier. It's a safety net.
Yeah.
If you're feeling shaky about what you're actually saying, falling back on a polite, automatic phrase reduces the risk of, social mistakes. Take some pressure off,
Right. So successful, polite interaction makes you feel good, makes you more confident.
which makes you want to practice more. It's a positive feedback loop.
Okay, moving on. We get to the practice time section. And this really shows the guide's core teaching method. It's all about scaffolding. They set up this very structured call and response, but the key is they use a pause, silence, to force you to actually do.
Parse to recall, yeah.
So the structure is like this. The guide says the first part, maybe, hi, what's your name? Then silence. A deliberate pause. And that pause basically makes you, the learner, jump in and provide the second part, filling in your own name. I'm your name. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that's classic cognitive scaffolding. It supports you exactly where you need it, giving the prompt, but then it pulls back the support immediately, forcing you to produce the output yourself.
So it gives the stimulus.
Right, the question,
Yeah.
but demands the response, the answer, and the return question without you just reading it.
Okay.
And this quick-fire scaffolded practice, it really reveals the philosophy underneath the whole thing. The guide explicitly says the point is to build confidence. It's not about understanding theory deeply at this stage.
It's about successful output.
100% successful output, yeah, in a safe, low-risk way.
And the focus on doing this practice every day, that rapid repetition connects directly to motor memory, doesn't it? Like muscle memory for your mouth and brain.
Oh, absolutely. When they say daily repetition is key, it's because you're trying to move that script, that whole interaction pattern, out of your thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex where it's slow and deliberate,
Yeah.
and into the basal ganglia, basically, where it becomes automatic, like lightning fast.
Yeah.
You don't think about how to say hello, you just do it.
Right. And for you listening, that's a huge takeaway. If you're learning, say, a new piece of software, don't just read about it. You have to actually do the 5 most common actions every day. Click the buttons until you don't even have to think about where they are.
Exactly. That daily rapid repetition, that's how you automate things.
Now, this focus on efficiency, on automation, it carries right through to the next bit, the vocabulary of the day. I mean, think about it. English has, what, hundreds of thousands of words? This guide picks out just 4 as essential for this starting point. Just 4.
That minimalism is, it's pretty striking.
Yeah.
But it's totally deliberate. The list is tiny and laser focused because those 4 words are literally the nuts and bolts you need for that specific conversation example.
Right, the one we just talked about.
Yeah. Any word that doesn't immediately help you do the greeting and introduction, it's just cut out. Gone.
Let's just list them again with their simple definitions. Hello, a greeting. Name what people call you, basic. Meet, to see someone for the first time. And nice, kind or good. That's it.
See, by keeping it to just those 4, the guide just slashes the cognitive load. You're not struggling to remember dozens of new words. You're focusing all your energy on using the 4 most important ones right now, in context.
Makes
It
sense.
reinforces that whole idea. Real foundational learning starts small, is immediately useful, and totally relevant to the routine you're trying to master. No fluff allowed at the beginning. Keeps your success rate high.
And this whole philosophy, this action-oriented approach, it continues right to the end of the guide. The closing section has these 2 quick tips. And they're powerful insights, really, about how to learn anything complex.
Yeah, the methodology nuggets.
Right. Tip number 1 is all about output, physical action, what we call motor memory. The instruction is super clear, maybe a bit unusual. Speak English out loud every day, even if you are alone. It even says, talking to yourself in English is great practice. It forces output, not just passive listening or reading.
And that is so critical. Thinking about a language isn't the same as actually producing it. When you speak out loud, even to yourself, you're engaging the actual physical parts, your mouth, your throat. You're testing how quickly you can pull the words out, string them together. You're training your body and brain to sync up in real time.
Like actually doing the push-ups instead of just planning the workout.
Exactly like that. Communication demands that real-time production.
Okay, and the second tip, it's pure mindset. The final piece of advice, really. It's don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning.
Permission to fail, basically. And if you connect that back to the big picture, those 2 tips, output first and resilience towards mistakes, those are kind of the non-content secrets to learning anything well.
How so?
Well, output forces you to actually do it, to make the knowledge solid, and resilience. That lets you keep coming back to practice even when, inevitably, you mess up. The guide seems to understand that the fear of messing up is a way bigger obstacle than not knowing the answer.
Right. Fear stops you trying again.
Exactly. By saying mistakes are okay, even expected, It just normalizes the whole messy process of learning,
It-
takes the pressure off trying to be perfect right away. And that pressure is often what makes people quit before they've automated the basics.
So let's wrap this up. What does it all mean? This Foundation English Guide, it's really like a masterclass in instructional design, isn't it? It boils down this huge, complex thing learning into these tiny, useful, polite social routines and then reinforces them with daily, deliberate, high-frequency practice. It's like a roadmap designed purely for building confidence fast through automating routines.
I think the really deep insight here is recognizing that foundational knowledge isn't just about the simple facts you learn. It's about the simple routines you automate.
Right, the doing, not just the knowing.
Yes. By mastering and automating those low-stakes social bits, the hellos, the names, the nice to meet you, you free up your brain power, your mental energy to handle the really complicated stuff that's definitely coming later.
So the structure is the key.
The structure is this lean, efficient machine. Greeting first, then a model dialogue, then practice using scaffolding, backed by minimalist vocabulary. And finally, wrapped in a mindset of resilience. Yeah. That sequence, that's the architecture for getting into any new field quickly and confidently.
It really makes you think, though. This guide shows that the absolute first steps in just connecting with another human greetings, names, politeness, are the rock-bottom foundation for language. So if language learning starts with mastering these simple social scripts, what's the equivalent foundation script or basic routine that you need to master, to automate, so you can walk confidently into whatever field you're tackling right now? Something for you to maybe mull over on your own.